Welcome into Simply the Bets, brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Glenn Clark, Griffin Bass. Mike is hanging out this morning as well. Coming up a little bit later on, we'll head into the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. And our guy Leon Twyman will be there. We'll let you know what's going on this week, how it is that the book did over the past week. So we'll do that a little bit later on in the show. But we start, as we do every week, by heading out to Vegas. Our friend from VSiN, Mr. Aaron Oster, standing by as he'll let us know what his 5 Ls are. And he comes in a little hot this week. Aaron, what's going on, pal? How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
A lot better than the Eagles after last night.
Yeah, that's true. You had a pretty good week last week.
I did.
Yeah, I was skeptical, and when it was 35-13 at the half, I was like, God, that Aaron's a dummy picking Navy to cover. What the hell's wrong with him? Turns out, not only did they cover, they nearly made it really interesting, 35-32. So you got that one.
Yeah.
You hit a long shot. How about that?
I did.
Hit a long shot. All of Geno Smith, Tua Tagovailoa, and Derek Carr to throw 2 or more touchdowns at plus 900. Yes. Yes, big winner for Aaron last week. I like that we reconsidered the long shot thought process. And then his love, Miami, Ohio, over 51.5, 37-21 the final, 58 points. Very much hitting it the over. But as Griffin points out, that's not all. Some of your past bets, long-term bets, from back in early May. Plus 480 on Julio Rodriguez to be American League Rookie of the Year. Ding, ding, ding. From June 21st, randomly, at a very small number, Colorado football under 3.5 wins. They've clinched. They've got 2 games to go. They have 1 win. It is clinched.
Forgot about that one, actually.
Yeah, you hit that one. You told everybody not to bet on the Eagles to go undefeated, which I very much agreed with you. I thought that would have been an insane bet to make. Now, you, of course, were using it in your dumb way to, tell everybody a lesson. Don't bet on them to go undefeated. Just bet on them in the games. God, it annoys me when you do that. But you were right. They didn't go undefeated. That was a bad bet. It was a very bad bet. Also points out that in April, you had a 16-1 play on Sandy Alcantara to win the NL Cy Young Award. And he is the favorite, as that will be announced.
Looks good right now.
That will be announced tomorrow, so we will find out next week if you are a winner on that one. So everything's coming up Oster at the moment. Let's see if we can continue.
Which means fade me right now.
Yes, correct. Do not ride any of this week. Let's make 5 Ls. Local, long-term, long shot, loser, and lovable bets. We begin locally. What you got?
This is a tough one because, quite frankly, most of the local football games this weekend, I don't like any of the lines. I don't like the spread.
The lines are quite big.
Yeah, lines are big, and I don't know that they're wrong and big, whether it's the Ravens, whether it's Maryland, whether it's Navy. I kind of like the favorites in all of them, but I'm also very hesitant to take those lines. The lines feel very right at the moment, so I'm going to skip all of the spreads. No real college basketball to play. I did look in that direction, and nothing really to play today. So I will take the Ravens game, and I'll just kind of go almost a default play here. Ravens facing the Panthers. The total in the game is 43.5. That's already ticked down from 44. So a little bit of money coming in on the under, and Ravens this season 6-3 to the under. Panthers 6-4 on the under, and I do like this right now at 43.5. The problem is if you tell me that the Ravens are going to get their pieces back this week, if you tell me there's some things that could make me a little more hesitant right now. But if it's the teams we've seen the past few weeks, I'm comfortable playing under the 43.5. This might be something where you want to wait, want to see exactly how everything plays out with the injuries and everything. But right now, my play on a local will be under 43.5 in the Ravens and Panthers.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I haven't looked at the weather for this weekend at all. I get the idea of if the Ravens just do what they've shown themselves to do the last couple of weeks and control the ball, and then It makes all the sense in the world. It will not be what I play with the Ravens this week, but I get it. I think it's a fairly safe play. I think that's a fairly safe one. All right, let's go next. Let's go to your long term. What's the futures bet that stands out to you?
So obviously, we're past the halfway part in the NFL season. We're starting to look at playoff pictures, and the playoff odds are a little more banged into place, and you're not finding a lot of value in it anymore because we know about these teams. I did happen to, as I was going through the whole list, there was one that jumped out at me though, and that's the New York Jets right now are minus 102 to make the playoffs. They're 6-3 right now. Obviously, if the season ends today, they'd be in the playoffs. They have home games left against the Bears, Lions, and Jaguars, and they don't play the Dolphins until Week 18. And who knows what the Dolphins will have going on? And they're only 3.5 point favorites against the Patriots this week. When you go into like the models, the playoff models, all of them have the Jets as much over 50%. Football Outsiders actually have the Jets 73.9% to make the playoffs. New York Times 65%, PFF 62%. So all of those, the implied minus 102, 50, 51%, all much better than that. I understand if you don't think the Jets are this 6-3 team, but I think they've put themselves at a position right now with the remaining schedule that they have a really good chance to make the playoffs, and they certainly have more than a 50% chance to make the playoffs. So I think the Jets making the playoffs at minus 102 is actually good value.
I hear you. This is the part where I say they're still the Jets.
They're the
right?
Jets.
Yep. Everything you just said is extraordinarily logical and makes all the sense in the world. And then on the flip side, Jets. That's what I'm struggling with. Is I know you're right, but I still don't think it's a bet that I could make. I still think I would have to say, I'll let you make that one, and I'll go ahead and find something else to put my American dollars on that isn't the New York Jets. But, again, all of your logic quite sound. I want to compliment you before I say you're an idiot. No, I mean,
you're absolutely right, but you're wrong.
Yeah, trust me, I get it. I completely understand it. All right, now, long shot. You're coming off a big hit last week. You got a big underdog bet. Where do we go this week as we look for a long shot?
We'll go right back to the well, and that's these Fanduel weekly specials that they put out, these prop specials that, can have some decent payouts. It's not quite plus 900 right this time. It's plus 650, and it's a fun one that, it'll be fun to talk about. It'll be fun to ride, and I think that it actually has a hit. Justin Fields, obviously one of the talks of the NFL right now with the way he's running, and FanDuel has he's going to run a lot parlay going, which is Justin Fields, 100-plus rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. He's coming off back-to-back games where he did just that. The Bears and Tigers offense and the Falcons defense, not very good. I can get that at plus 650. Okay, I'm going to take that.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. It doesn't require the Bears having to win, which they're not good at.
Nope.
It's 650, really?
650.
That doesn't seem right, does it?
I mean, look, as much as he's done it 2 games, like 100 yards and a touchdown from a quarterback.
I know. It's a
lot. So I understand. And that's probably why they're putting. They want everybody to be like, oh man, I think that should be 3-1. I'm going to take it at plus 650. Look, it's something that, again, this is a little bit of a long shot. I don't, it's plus 650, and it might not be plus 650 when you make the odds, but it's not something that's necessarily likely to hit either. This is probably a 30, like I said, probably fair odds. 3-4-1, but they're hoping people see it, play it, knowing that they won't have a 50-50 chance, and then if it doesn't hit, they make a lot of money off of it.
That's fair.
I understand what Fanduel is doing, but this will be a fun one to play.
I agree. All right, he is Aaron Oster. He is with us for our 5 L's this week of sports betting. Next up, give me the one that you say, don't make this bet. It is a loser.
So I gave out this theory. We talked about this, and I gave out this type of
there's
play
anything I
before
like
as a
more than
loser.
Aaron's theories. I love it when we use losers for theories.
No. You actually liked this one the last time I said it. There's a super, super, super stinky NFL line out there for next week. There's a line that you're going to see that random Joe Schmo off the street is going to see and immediately say, oh, well, the odds makers have this wrong. I'm putting all my money down on this. The Vikings are 1.5-point underdogs at home to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
This is the line everyone's looking at and saying, wait, that it's supposed to be the other way, right?
Yep.
Or it's even supposed to be more. Like, the odds makers got this wrong. Everyone is going to be putting their money down on the Vikings. Every single person. This is going to be the ones you hear the odds makers on these shows talk about me like, we have a 8-1 ticket count on the Vikings. And you know what's not going to happen? That line's not going to move.
Mm-hmm.
That line is sitting at 1.5. It opened at 1.5. It's gotten early money, and it's sitting at 1.5 right now. And the odds makers are taking a stand on this one. They have the Cowboys rated much higher than the Vikings in the power ratings. They're not moving. And I'm not sure if I have the stones to take the Cowboys in this one. I haven't quite decided yet. But I know one thing I am not doing under any circumstances is taking the Vikings plus 1.5. So I'm putting that down as a loser.
I get it. I completely understand. Although this was what scared me. I decided to play Texas because I thought to myself, somebody knows something.
Yes.
There was no reason.
It doesn't always work out.
And they didn't know anything. Texas stinks.
No.
I'm infuriated by it. I had to eat a cinnamon roll and chili this morning because of it. I'm not, although that was fine. It wasn't really even a
I was
penalty.
going to say, that doesn't sound terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible at all. It was a really bad penalty. I struggle with this because I am with you that there's just stay the hell away from it when it's it teeters on reverse lock.
Yep.
But it might not be. I don't know.
Well, and that's why I'm not. That's not why I'm not putting in my love. I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying, don't bet this. Do not bet on the Vikings.
I hear you. All right. So what do you love this week? Who do you love?
I actually had a college football when I was making my notes last night. I had a college football game I really liked, which I'll give out as a lean. I really like Washington State minus 3.5 at Arizona for a number of reasons, including Arizona coming off of a huge win. I think that line should be a little bit higher. But when I opened up my computer this morning, I saw what the lines were posted for the NFL after last night's game. There's a huge overreaction on the Eagles' loss. I understand the idea that the Commanders just showed the blueprint on how to beat the Eagles, and now teams can follow it. But that should not have led to a 2.5 or 3 point movement on the Eagles-Colts game. The Eagles game is now minus 6.5. It opened up at 9 or 9.5 on Sunday night. I understand that, hypothetically, the Colts with Jonathan Taylor could sort of do what the Commanders did last night. I just don't see it right now. This number should not be below 7. Give me the Eagles minus 6.5.
Jeff Saturday fever, baby. I don't know if you've heard. He's the greatest coach in the history of football, and we were all a-holes forever doubting him because he was able to beat the Raiders.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hear you. What's the story on Jordan Davis? Like, what's his deal? Because that was the biggest thing that jumped out at me. Like, if you want to look at that and say, hey, what we did learn is that the Colts, they're capable of running the ball.
Yeah.
Not sure if you heard. If Jordan Davis is going to be out, then that's to say it's the blueprint is one thing. To say this is the exact team that should be able to do the thing that Washington did. Now, I get it. To your point, Washington still needed a great amount of conspiracy. They still needed what should have been a go-ahead touchdown to suddenly turn into a disastrous fumble. They still needed an insane missed face mask to create a turnover that changed the course of the game. Like, they still needed a lot of conspiracy in order to be able to win, but I don't know if they needed as much conspiracy in order to be able to play close, right? Like, that's the part I can't quite figure out.
Yeah, and it's why I would have stayed away from this game at 8.5. Because here's the thing, like, we knew that the Eagles couldn't stop the run going into last night. Like, that was not a new thing. It was not, it's why everyone loved the Brian Robinson prop last night. It's why, the line had started to tick down a little bit, but nowhere near to where it is now. So usually when you have look-ahead lines and something's very different without an injury being involved, you should be looking at the look-ahead line to say, hey, this is what the line should be, and
right.
It might end up getting back to that. So when the look-ahead line's 8.5, 9, no injuries that we know of, if there's something we didn't know about, if A.J. Brown's all of a sudden comes up, those limps were something a little bit more, then okay, we can talk about that a little bit more. But from what we know right now, I think this line gets back to 7.5, 8, and I'll take it at 6.
By the way, to your point, I actually did this last week. The look ahead on Chargers 49ers was a pick'em and moved to a 7-point game.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a huge win for me, baby. Huge win. Greatest cover of all time. What a spectacular cover from the Chargers in that game. So I hear you. By the way, Jordan Davis not eligible to return until week 13 from IR.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm apprehensive. I hear you, but I'm apprehensive. All right.
Understood.
Those are the 5 L's for sports betting this week. Aaron, remind everybody what you got going on with VSiN.
Check out VSiN, VSiN.com, all of our programming. We are, big day for college basketball today with the Champions Classic. We still have our college basketball guide out. And out right now is our World Cup guide. World Cup starts Sunday. Many, many bets to play. All the group play bets are out now. All the will they advance. Pretty much so many different props you can play in the World Cup. We'll have that all for you in our World Cup guide. So check all that out at VSiN.com.
All right, very good. At the Oster on Twitter is how you follow him. He is, of course, our buddy Aaron Oster. Appreciate you, pal. We'll talk to you next Tuesday, all right?
Hope everyone hits their bets.
It's Aaron Oster from VSiN joining us here on Simply the Bets. Of course, the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel is where you go to make all of these bets. And when we come back in, we will head to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel to catch up with our buddy Leon Twyman, the general manager. That's next. This is Simply the Bets. Experience the best in Kamado Grilling, a complete outdoor cooking appliance. The Ginsu Kamado Grill allows anyone to sear, grill, bake, and smoke all types of food. Designed for efficiency and function, the Ginsu Kamado Grill upholds the enduring legacy of the iconic Ginsu brand. The Ginsu Kamado Grill is perfect to cook all year round, is great for parties, and ideal for tailgating with your friends. Reserve your Ginsu Kamado Grill today at ginsugrills.com and get $100 off on your pre-order when you use the promo code TAILGATE. That's ginsugrills.com. Reserve yours today.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, New Maryland basketball coach Kevin Willard sits down with Stan Charles and Glenn Clark to discuss the situation he inherited in College Park and how he plans to get the program turned around. Also, inside, we introduce you to men's and women's college basketball players from all of the teams in the area. And Bo Smoko profiles Ravens receiver Devin Duvernay. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Another Orioles season is in the books, and the Bat-Around was there every step of the way as the Birds posted their first winning season in 6 years. And after promoting 2 #1 overall prospects in Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson, Mike Elias has said it's liftoff from here. Hi, I'm Paul Valley, and along with my co-host Zach Goodman, we'll be here every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon all off season, discussing every signing, trade, and waiver claim as we navigate the cold winter months that lead to spring training. You can watch us at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline and Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, or listen live at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. And if you miss a show, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. So tune into the Bat-Around with Paul Valley and Zach Goodman every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon, right here at PressBox Sports.
Stan the Fan here, welcoming back one of my favorite sponsors, sponsors the Costas Inn, and everybody around Baltimore knows the Costas Inn is a great place to go and grab crabs, steaks, salads, soups, whatever's on your mind to eat in person. But did you know that the Costas Inn has upped their game? They are now one of the premier takeout places in Baltimore. Give them a call now to order your food, 410-477-1975. That's the Costas Inn, over 4100 North Point Boulevard.
The Baltimore County Police Department is hiring. Entry-level officers start at close to $59,000 a year with a $10,000 bonus. Some restrictions apply. Plus a great retirement plan, medical, dental, and vision insurance, advancement to specialized units, tuition reimbursement, 15 sick days earned per calendar year, and even further incentives for military members and veterans. If you have a passion for service and want a career for life, visit joinbaltimorecountypd.com or call 410-887-5542. You must be a United States citizen, possess a valid driver's license, and have a high school diploma or GED equivalent. The Baltimore County Police Department is an equal opportunity employer.
If you can't listen or watch live, you can subscribe to the show via Spotify, Amazon, or Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review while you're there. Or, if lying isn't your thing, we'll take a 3.5-star review too.
Simply the Bets, brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, continues along here on this Tuesday as we get ready for another big weekend of football action. And as was just mentioned by Aaron Oster, the World Cup gets underway on Sunday. And we'll have Leon Twyman explain it to us more, but you're going to be able to watch the games. I know they're going to be odd hours for World Cup games, but you're going to be able to watch them, and you'll have the self-service kiosks all available and open for you in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. So even though some of these matches, I know the first one on Sunday is at 11 a.m., so that's kind of a normal time for that first one. But some of them will be early in the morning. You'll still be able to watch all of them and get your bets in the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Just taking a look, just for funsies right now, the futures bets. Brazil, your favorite to win the World Cup, at plus 420. Argentina at plus 550. France, 6-1, Spain plus 750, England 8-1, Germany 10-1, Netherlands 12-1, and Los Estados Unidos 150-1.
It's pretty good value.
150 to.
You never know.
I don't know. I don't know about all of that. Just for the record, you can play as far as the United States is concerned. Their total tournament goals over 2.5. They're pretty confident, minus 260. Over 3.5, minus 112. But if you're bullish, if you think the Americans can score some goals, especially if you think they can get out of the group, right? Like they can play at least a fourth match. Over 4.5 starts to get you plus money on total goals for the United States in the World Cup. So if you are bullish about their ability to score goals during the tournament, you can play that right now in the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, which is where we find our friend Leon Twyman, the general manager of the FanDuel Sportsbook. Leon, good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, good. How's it going?
I guess it's good afternoon now. I'm going all right. Well, I don't know if I'm going all right. I thought it was still morning, so maybe it's not all right. Leon, the rundown for the World Cup. I was just trying to explain it to everybody. Obviously, the matches will be at odd hours. You told us last week, no matter when, you'll be able to watch the matches in the FanDuel Sportsbook, correct?
That is correct. We have a plan to make sure that those are going to be on at all hours.
So even these 5 a.m. early morning matches will be on the 100-foot media wall there in the FanDuel Sportsbook. And even if the Sportsbook is not yet open, you have the self-service kiosks available to you.
That is correct. Get action all hours of the night.
There you go. That's the plan for the World Cup, which gets underway on Sunday. Leon, some news this week. We could be within days at this point. I mean, it could literally be next week that mobile sports betting becomes legal in the state of Maryland. You have been trying to tell us about how mobile sports betting and the FanDuel Sportsbook will be integrated. But if that goes live, right, if we're really talking about, like, come Thanksgiving, mobile sports betting is in play in Maryland, what does that look like for integrating that with the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland?
So right now, obviously, we want everyone to enjoy the experience. So you're not going to get the experience at home that you would get inside of the Sportsbook here at Maryland Live. So what we're hoping is we can still drive that foot traffic. If you want to wager on your mobile, that's fine. We are going to have the options for you to either deposit funds to your account from our windows or withdraw your funds from your account in our windows as well. So we're trying to make sure we still have that integration there for our guests to come in and keep that foot traffic and get that experience from what we offer here in the Sportsbook.
And it sound like the way that it sounds to me is that like essentially it's almost like you now have a lot more betting pads available to you, right? Like that almost everybody has their own personal betting pad now.
That's essentially what it's going to be. Again, just because you can just wager so much more as well as far as like on the kiosks and the bet pads and mobile. So going to have a lot of things that you'll be able to do. So hopefully we can still drive that foot traffic in, especially if people want to come and see me. I mean, I try to make it fun here for everyone.
The mega star Leon Twyman. No, I think what you said before is the important part. It's the experience. I think everyone who's ever watched a major sporting event in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, or has understood it from past experiences going to sportsbooks, whether it's in Vegas or whatever it was, in the past, you get why it's so different. It's electric. It's amazing, the atmosphere. It's the closest thing you can feel to being there, and in a lot of ways, I think it's better than being there because you don't have to wait 8 hours to go to the bathroom at the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. That's not an hour-long line to go pee. It's the electricity of the atmosphere now combined with the convenience of incorporating mobile betting. I also take me through. I know in the past we've talked about there might be some things that be available via mobile and some things that be available via in person and the brick and mortars. Do we know anything more about like are there maybe things that you'll be able to do while you're in the Fanduel Sportsbook that you might not be able to do? Do we know anything more about that?
I'm still learning as well. We're
Okay.
waiting to hear some of that.
Okay.
So that's some of the things I'm waiting to hear. It's going to be interesting.
We will look forward to learning that in the coming weeks, as it does appear as though we have reached essentially the moment, and it's really into any day now territory that mobile betting will be live in Maryland again.
Yeah, just any moment.
Yep, and truly will be an incredible experience incorporated with the live atmosphere of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. All right, he is Leon Twyman. Leon, I know you had to be really happy. I mean, anytime, it's such a good thing for the books when the Cowboys pathetically lose and blow big leads. I know you personally just had to be thrilled to see what an embarrassing, awful, pathetic display that was from the Dallas Cowboys. I know it just had to make your day, right?
Oh yeah, it definitely made my day. I can tell you that.
How was the weekend for the book?
It was actually a really good weekend for the book. Surprisingly, you probably don't believe it, but a lot of people actually do wager on Dallas.
No, I know. That's why I knew it was great news for the book. I knew it was. Look, for those that don't know, Leon, he's a cockroach. He's and I mean that in the nicest way possible. You're my friend. He is a Cowboys fan because of course he is, because why wouldn't he be? He's probably also a Lakers and Notre Dame and Yankees fan. But he has told us before that there's a lot of money that comes in on the Cowboys, so I imagine there had to be a good bit of conflict for you, disappointed, but at the same time, great news for your employer.
Yes, man, it's a toss-up. It's great for my career, bad for my personal life.
That's the way it goes. What else stood out for you this week? What else besides the Cowboys? Where else were you guys making money this weekend?
UFC. That was a big surprise.
Yes, Griffin.
Yeah.
Griffin was among the many who had his money on Israel Adesanya, and did not work out. Can you give me an idea of, like, even if it's not totals, but like percentage? What percentage of bets had Adesanya losing in any way?
Had him losing or winning?
Had him, well, sure, going the other way, right? Like what percentage of the bets had him winning that ended up being losing bets?
at least I'd say at least 75%.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Alex Pereira scoring the stunning upset victory in the 5th round. Were there any particularly big bets on Pereira?
No, we did actually not have any particular large bets that stood out to me.
Wow.
Which was good because again, we want the book to do well. I mean, I want the people to do well, but again,
any big bets on anything else that came through this weekend?
Oh yeah, we had 30. It was like a $33,000 wager on last night's game on Philly.
Ooh, that one stings. Whew, 33. What was that even paid?
I mean, the odds were like ridiculous, so it wouldn't have been as much. I can tell you that.
Imagine risking $33,000. It was just on Philly to win outright.
Yes, I believe around the time they were around like minus 520 or something crazy.
Talking about like $33,000 to win $5K, something like that. God, that is, oof. That is a giant oof, man. That is rough. Oh, apparently Drake lost $2 million betting on the UFC fight. Well, that's a real shame. That guy, how's he ever?
I did see that.
How's he ever going to make do? Those were probably his final pennies, that Drake fella.
Exactly.
Got to be tough for him. Anything else that stood out for you over the weekend?
We had a big bet. We had a $25,000 bet on Giants. Obviously they won, but that was surprising to me. I think that's the most I've seen this year on Giants.
I would still be nervous. I mean, I get it. It was the Texans, so like, if there was ever a time to buy in, maybe this would have been the week to do it. But I mean, they're still they haven't had a two possession victory all season still, correct?
Yeah, I don't believe so.
I'm gonna double check that. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that all of the Giants win this season have been by one possession. I am double checking on that right now. And so I can understand the trepidation of betting on the Giants. Yes, 1 point, 3 points, 8 points, that is one possession, 5 points, 4 points, 6 points, and 8 points. Every single game they have played, every win they have on the year has been by one possession this season, which is, it feels like it's got to be some sort of record. It feels like there's just no way. The only two possession game they played all season was when they lost to the Seahawks by 2 scores. So that's pretty remarkable. All right, anything else that's going on right now in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland everybody needs to know about for the week?
Yeah, so, still trying to do our pre-registration for mobile, trying to drive that foot traffic back into the Sportsbook. So what we have going on, we have a promo. It's Live MD promo. So if you sign up with us through the promo, you would actually, and you bet, when it goes live, if you bet $5, you get $200 in free bet. But before that, you also get an option of $50 of free slot play here at Maryland Live Casino.
Okay.
Free table game bet or $50 for dining.
Wow.
If you sign up using our promo.
So you don't have to come in to do that. You can do that signing up right now. Like somebody listening can do that right now.
That is correct. Someone listening can do that right now, as long as they don't have a prior FanDuel account.
Okay. Wow. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal, man. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. Still have our 61 kiosks operating 24/7, and then we have our 20 bet pads that people just love because we're the only FanDuel property that you can come and wager over $2,000 on a same-game parlay.
It's pretty remarkable. Pretty remarkable, and there have been some big wins, obviously, so far. All right, Leon Twyman, General Manager of the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Thank you, my friend. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Hey, have a good one.
It's Leon Twyman checking in with us here on Simply the Bets. We wind down here for this week's edition of Simply the Bets, and every week we try to have Griffin collect some of the big storylines from sports betting that week and present us this week's tidbets of the week. What you got for us?
Well, yeah, of course, Drake put $2 million on Izzy, so I should have known that the Drake curse.
As soon as that happened, you should have been aware you were going to be a loser on that.
Started fading it completely, but didn't. So, I was a loser along with Drake. I feel like Drake. I guess he's never gonna run out of money because he's Drake.
Yeah, he's Drake. Yeah. What do you?
But I feel like he loses $2 million on some stupid bet every week. Like almost every week, I see that I see something where he's like, $2 million on this, and then he loses.
He's
like
fine.
F1.
Right, but he's fine. He's Drake. I'm not sure if you've heard. He's very wealthy.
He's ruining it for me because he bets the same things I do.
I would encourage you to not do that. Bet something else.
Someone put Leon mentioned somebody put $30K on the Eagles. Someone put $331,000 on the Eagles money line to win $60K.
That was Leon just brought that up.
He said 30.
Yeah.
Didn't he say 30?
No, he's 33,000.
No, this was 300.
Oh,
300. Yes.
333,000. Holy crap! I'm sorry,
Yes.
I completely missed that. That's on me.
So they would have won $60K, but ended up winning nothing, losing 330.
Wow.
Yeah. Then the big one was a alternate rushing parlay that would have paid $135K. It was Justin Fields to have 110 yards or more, Jeff Wilson 80 plus, Najee Harris 80 plus, Jonathan Taylor 125 yards or more. And then finally his last leg was Miles Sanders to have 110 yards or more. And he ended up cashing out, which I'm sure you're going to be thrilled about. Yeah, so he put $10. He could have won $135K if Miles Sanders hit 110, but he didn't.
Right, correct. He made the smart decision.
Mm-hmm. And he cashed out for $22,000.
He had $22,000 more than he had before.
Yeah.
That's what we call that. The man won $22,000 on a $10 bet. That's good. That's really, really good.
Maine upset Boston College last night. Someone put $50 on the Maine money line to win $450 to beat Boston College.
I guess that's neat, but
yeah. Well, I don't know how you.
Big.
Bad beat with Lindenwood and Mizzou on, I guess that was Saturday, when the spread was Lindenwood plus 28.5, and they were down by 26 as time was expiring. Mizzou jacked up a half-court three and made it as time expired to win by 29.
Okay. That happens. It's bad beats. I don't know.
So the BR betting people, they did they picked their first touchdown scorer out of a hat, and so some guy picked out Laviska Shenault for Thursday Night Football.
Okay.
And he was like, "Who the hell is Laviska Shenault?"
All right, that's not a good sign either.
Yeah,
Laviska Shenault's a very well-known football player.
And then when he scored, he was like, "Oh, my plus 4,500."
Was this someone who didn't know football?
I don't know, but he at least he acted like he didn't know who he was.
I mean, okay, that's if that's shtick, it's really bad shtick. Everybody knows who Laviska Shenault is. He's not. I mean, by the way, I don't know if the guy was aware. It was the Panthers and the Falcons. It wasn't like Devontae Adams was available. Jesus.
Someone had $5 on a 20,000 to 1 parlay of correct game scores. They had the Titans to beat the Broncos 17-10, which they did. And then they had the Chiefs 28-17 over the Jags, but the Chiefs missed an extra point in the second quarter.
Yep.
So they only won 27-17. So that he would have won $100K.
Jeez.
Put $5 on it, he would have won $100K.
Oh my God. Here's the other question. I wonder if that guy even thought about it, because I don't know if he was watching every play of the game. I wonder if the game ended and he was like, "Damn, I was really close." You know what I mean? And you win some, you lose some. And then found out later there was a missed extra point. Because if you know there's a missed extra point, then you're suicidal. If you don't, you're like, that's a real bummer. I was so close. When you find out there was a missed extra point in there, you're ready to jump.
Or he just forgot about the bet and then later
saw
his account.
How much was the bet?
He put $5.
Yeah, okay. He might.
So you just throw it on,
right?
And then realize your account has $100,000.
Yeah, you're like, what?
The last one I had was somebody had a basketball parlay, and the final leg of their parlay was D'Angelo Russell to score 15 points in one of his games over the weekend. And so he made the first shot of the third quarter. He made a three-pointer, bring his point total to 14.
Okay.
That was early in the third quarter. He missed every single shot the rest of the game. And
no free
and it was
throws or
hilarious.
anything?
He did. He missed 2 free throws.
Oh, my God.
So the guy put the other.
That's the type of thing that makes you wonder. That's the type of thing where you're just like, yeah, did somebody inform him of what was going on there? Hey, D'Angelo, maybe you don't make another shot. The rest
going
of
to
the
start
game.
a D'Angelo Russell hate page or something.
God, man, that is wild. All right, that's what we got?
Yep, that
Very
was it.
good.
That was it.
All right, thanks to Aaron Oster. Thanks to Leon Twyman. No weekend at bookies this week, so we will be back next Tuesday for the next Simply the Bets. In the meantime, may the odds be ever in your favor.